Andrew, normally I think we feel a little better usually when we start with just like a little one, 2, 3. It's my life and it's now or never. And I ain't gonna live forever. Woo!
I'm not recording yet.
Damn it.
Okay, if I deselect, is it Command D?
Yes.
Command D's nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, man.
Okay.
All right, man. All right.
All right, we'll set the tone.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry,
I got it.
I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody.
No. Great.
Sorry,
No.
everybody. Sorry.
It reminds me of that one character, the Mind Goblin. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Mind Goblin, these nuts, dude.
Oh! That was really good, dude.
That is good.
Ask us about Imagine Dragons. Sorry.
Imagine dragging these nuts across your.
You do one.
I don't. I'm actually gonna be real. I don't even know how this joke works.
Clem, go ahead and just cut all this.
Wait, okay, now what?
We're gonna have a battle of the Clem. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Battle of the Clem.
Hey! Welcome to Creative Block. We're your hosts, B.
And Sean, aka Lord Spew. We talk shop with other creatives in animation, comics, YouTube, the internet about things like finding your artistic path or the process of making art while we doodle on Magma.
We asked people on our social medias if they had specific topics they wanted us to discuss, as well as some drawing prompts. If you haven't yet, check out our Patreon and subscribe to our channel.
Today we have with us Andrew, Ari, and Colton from Couch Kids Podcast. Welcome on to the show.
Welcome back to the Couch Kids Podcast. We're your boys. We're Ari.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Colton.
And today we have Violaine and Sean here on the couch.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Really nice of you guys.
Clem, can you roll our intro song? That would be amazing.
Just roll our intro song out for them. I think they need to hear it.
Can you get like a 3D dog to spin on the screen really slow?
Thanks for having us on your podcast, couch guys, sofa fellas.
We haven't grown up yet, so we're not.
No, we're always
yet.
gonna be.
We're still kids.
We're always gonna be kids.
Love seat lads, kids.
Love seat.
Love
We honestly
so
love
cute.
lads.
Yeah.
I really like that.
That's like a
also-
romantic, that's like a dating advice podcast.
That's you
or something.
ask us for romantic advice. Yeah, we give you really horrible
I mean,
advice.
sometimes,
you
have
have-
you ever done like a like I don't know, going through an app and
Like
you know,
we answer questions like we're giving professional advice even though we
Yeah,
have no business doing so.
Yeah, you could have a JD Vance on the love seat lads and because you know what he does with the couch.
Dude, he'll be
You heard about that?
He'll be doing
I mean,
a lot of love with the love seat.
There was a meme where JD Vance has sex with couches. Have you? Yeah, I don't mean to get political, but that's
it's how we blew up.
Yeah.
We were actually the
I was that
victims.
couch.
Coucho, our beloved patron deity Coucho, was actually the victim
Coucho Marx?
and the first one to out JD Vance in public.
Yeah, that's true.
It was
Our
it
Coucho-
was a brutal court hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our Coucho is very brave.
We got millions though.
So
Yeah.
can I ask you guys about what's your like warm up routine getting into like the podcast mood? Because you always start so like excited. Like do you have a thing that you do before you go live, like a 1, 2, 3, we're all in it team, or like, I don't know, like what do you do?
I mean,
We have the preamble.
yeah, we do have the preamble.
It is a
Preamble is key.
It is key. It is like our warm up essentially, and the mics are hot during it.
Always hot.
Always hot.
The moment that we step into the CK Lounge, we are recording.
Yes.
And we have a rule that we actually don't speak to each other as friends outside of the podcast, and that is it's pretty true. These guys can attest to it. We're not allowed to say anything that's funny. Outside
If
of
you
this
say
podcast.
something that's funny, you immediately have to cut the person off and say, no, excuse me, save it for the pod.
Save for the pod.
That's not entirely
Save it for
untrue.
the pod.
That's
Save the story
actually
for the pod.
not true.
Wait, so you pretend not to know each other, or like enemies?
No, we're
outside
allowed
of
to
it?
know each other. We're just not allowed to
Like,
like
have
if
fun.
yeah, like we can't do bits outside because if it's
Yeah.
too funny, then I'll be upset.
Okay, yeah, a lot of it is bit humor.
Yes.
And we usually try to start with a bit.
Yeah.
All three of us are on board with that.
Yep.
I would say, right? All three of us.
All three of us are.
All three of us. Well, I would
Wait,
say
do you plan
most
your
people-
bit?
Never.
Because
Well,
you don't know each
all the
other
bits are
outside the
scripted.
podcast. So all the bits have to be
It's written out.
improvised and agreed upon without talking about
Well,
it.
actually,
right?
the entire podcast is fully scripted. Even the everything that we
Yeah.
do is fully scripted out.
Yeah.
I give these guys a script before every podcast. It runs about. I have no time to do anything. It runs
Yeah.
about 100 pages long, and
Yeah,
we go.
that's right.
We have a table read every Friday night. We have a table read, and we run through it. And it's terrible.
And Clem has a really easy job because it's all scripted, right, Clem?
Yeah.
Very easy.
Go ahead and throw that dog on
Yeah.
screen.
That dog. Do you really have a dog?
Is there a 3D dog?
No.
Oh, we do.
Wait,
have
we
a
do have a dog. We do have a couch kid dog, a couch dog, if you would.
Mhm.
Benji is our resident dog.
Benji is definitely our resident dog, so that's my dog. He's a little Papillon Palm mix,
Mm-hmm.
total sweetheart.
But do you want to talk more about the preamble? Because it is true.
Yes.
We really
So-
have the preamble.
I mean, you guys are very professional with like how you organize your guys's like podcast start,
right.
and like in the same way, we always kind of like be like what do we do? We like
We just like we kind of like
we like focus in. We
Yeah.
like to really make sure we're like ready to go, because sometimes we have launched without like any sort of preamble, any sort of like
feels
walk in,
off.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
How often do you
We like-
start over a beginning because you're like that intro was bad?
We've
Done it
definitely
a few times.
Yeah, a few times I would say. Like, and sometimes we're just like, I remember early on too, we would do it a few times where we'd be like, I don't know about that bit, like, or we'll be like, what if we did? Well, sometimes we'll talk about the bit, and then we'll be like, I think it needs to go in this direction, and then we'll.
No
Yeah.
way. You really did that? No, this is a bit, right?
What?
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 Is
How
that
meta
bad?
are we going?
Is that bad? I mean, that's actually.
No, we're being 100%.
I'm sorry, I'm totally being honest.
See, that's the thing is we
That's
want
the thing is
we
that-
want people to not know where the bit ends and
Exactly.
begins. Because we actually we actually had this running bit where okay, so of the three of us,
Yeah,
two of us like more bits and improv, and one of us
hates improv. Would say maybe hates improv.
maybe hates
One of us is ugly and hates improv. One of us doesn't want any
Wow.
fun and doesn't like any bits.
That's why.
I'm trying to figure.
That's
it
why
out.
on the flyer, one of you, it says handsome question mark.
It's really nice
One
of you
of
guys
them
to
is-
do
Oh yeah,
that.
thank you for doing a totally unprompted. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That was so
I
nice.
just had
Yeah.
divine inspiration. I was just like, these boys, they can use a little.
they
can
need
use a little...
this. They need this.
They need the help. I don't know that we need
You're not
help.
wrong.
I didn't.
but, like-
Okay. All right. Well.
Other guests
But
are
yeah,
a lot more
we-
confident, sure of themselves, and we
Oh,
felt like we
okay.
needed
That's
to.
it.
Booster, yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well.
All right. Well,
we
that was a
gotta
lot
work on
funnier
that.
in my head. Okay. No, we can laugh about it.
No, I'm actually worried that there's going to be some previous guests that are going to email us and ask why wasn't handsome on my flyer.
Well.
Send them our way.
That might be like a Via Lane thing.
Yeah, I would
Something like-
definitely say take it up with Via Lane.
Yeah. Clem, if you could just
Yeah.
edit that out. I don't know.
Clem, if you want to throw up Via Lane's personal email, I guess, just throw that up right in the middle of the screen right there. That'd be great.
This is how I get doxxed. You know how like this is like one of my number one fears to get doxxed. I like that would
Yeah.
be like, and then it's just like my friends on the podcast are just like, hey, by the way,
Here's your
the-
home
Yeah, Clem,
address.
can you put a 3D dog throwing up Violane's address onto the screen?
Yeah, but one of the things that we do for the person that doesn't like improvisation, I won't mention who it is, but
Yeah.
don't
do that.
One of the running jokes is he has to clarify when the bit starts and ends. So
Yep.
we will say, and the bit starts now. And at the end, we have to go, and the bit ends now.
Now.
And then
That's
we
amazing.
loudly
It's like a and scene.
and see, exactly.
And it just, I would say,
Yep.
some people
Some
who
people.
are less comfortable with bits
right.
would say that it's very nice when they know when the bit, it just ends, it's over, it's
Right.
a good a bookmark,
Yes.
if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Some of us.
Some of us.
Some of us.
Some.
Right.
What I love about this is that you guys just created lore for your fans to just kind of speculate endlessly about.
And also, I feel like some fans are like, is this lore a bit
a bit itself.
Yes.
Is this lore about needing to clarify when the bit starts and ends a bit in itself? End of bit.
So I think what you're saying is that it's exhausting to listen to us,
Yeah.
and that's correct.
Yeah, and the fact that people do is a miracle, and we're always ever appreciative of that.
Yeah.
So-
Let's talk about a little bit, like, how did you guys come up with the podcast? Like, when, like, how, tell us a little bit about the inception of the podcast. Because it's always kind of an interesting story to kind of, like, see how people come together and make, like, a long-running project like this.
Yeah. Honestly, it started out as a way for us to schedule a hangout, I would say.
Yeah, I would
And that's
totally agree.
like, because we like, I would say that we hung out a little bit, like we were
Yeah.
friends, but it was a way to really just schedule time together.
Yeah.
Like it was more of an excuse to hang out on Sunday nights, back at the studio. And I don't want to say that we didn't intend to ever release these things, but I want to say that it was like 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like 10 consecutive weeks where it was the three of us. We only had one
Yeti mic.
one Yeti mic in the middle of us, and it was two people on a couch and the other person across from them, and it was just the three of us screaming into one microphone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and dude, it was really funny because we had officially we took a break, so we had 10 episodes I think that we got through, and they're the most like we found them later, like
Oh my
years
God.
later on the server, and they're the most like chaotic, fucking unhinged energy. It's literally all of us around one. It's not even a nice mic. Like I think it was just the Yeti mic.
Yeah, it was
Just
it's a
screaming.
directional mic, so
Yeah.
it feeds one way. So there's always one person. Like you'd get two guys that were like, and then you'd get the third guy who was like,
Yeah.
who was really far away.
But it sparked something.
I
It
think it
did.
definitely
It
sparked something.
with us, and years passed because lockdown happened.
Right.
But we would talk all the time during like lunch breaks,
Yep.
and we were obviously like very close. So then,
Yeah.
like the moment we were able to like kind of hang out again,
Yeah.
I don't even know like it was probably you who were like Andrew who was like I want to try picking this back up again, right?
Well, because it was another running bit that we did between the three of us, that we had this successul podcast called The Couch
Yes.
Kids, and that we had to. It was a bit just between
That's
the three of us.
actually really funny.
that we had to put it away. It got too big. It tore us apart. That we had to step away from it for the sake of our friendship. And even at Ari's wedding, Colton and I had introduced ourselves as Ari's best men. Or you may know us as the Couch Kids.
Yeah.
And at that point, we had never released an episode, and it got a
No way, because
got
I was there and I thought the podcast already existed.
Maybe you
No,
bought in. Maybe you
no.
bought into the propaganda.
Wait, so the podcast was a bit that manifested?
See, that's the thing.
This is how the marketing works.
Yeah.
And I think we even started like if you listen to some of those first episodes, we're like, "Hey
Yeah.
guys, welcome back!" Like,
Yes.
and it's like we just started,
Yeah.
and we're talking like, "Well, this is our greatest hits."
Yes.
We're just slowly
Yeah.
releasing it out.
Like the band is back together again.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we really like forced ourselves to do it by being like telling everybody we know like we have a very successful podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lying.
Because then also
Lying.
people would challenge us. People would be like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to hearing it. Then when are you gonna release it?" And it's
Yep.
like, well, these things take time.
Yes,
It's like,
of course.
So it would,
Yeah.
it would lead. Also, that's a beautiful couch OV.
So
I
this
just
really
copied
actually
yours.
is just
I love that
a
couch.
spite show. Honestly, this has just been 2 years of spite.
Yeah.
Just to prove that the haters wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How did you so you started kind of on a whim. Now you're
No, you started to bring a bit to life, like it's like bits are some form of chaos magic. Like you've spoken
kinda are.
an idea into existence and then manifested it.
But
I mean,
how did you kind of come up with what you were going to talk about on the podcast? Like, did you ever have like a plan for it, or did you just kind of hang out?
Oh my god! You know what? Okay, hold on. I do want to kind of go back because I
Please.
think there is something actually true in that statement about like the bits are magic. Because like a lot of the time, the whole thing
Our bits are magics.
Is-
People say it
it's
all the
casting
time.
a spell, but a lot of the time it's us taking a joke and then kind of like going further with it. So even like you asked about like what was the format of like the podcast, right? There was this horrible idea that I had in the beginning that was called Headline Havoc. That was just gonna be me reading like from the fucking news, and like me being like, "Yeah, you hear about this headline?" It was like a fucking like a horrible headline,
like a hospital burned down.
Yeah, hospital burned down, or like the homelessness crisis is out of
this.
control. And then like, and I don't know why, but then then it just went deathly silent, and we were like, "Yeah, no, maybe we'll put that one away." But then like.
That was in the original 10.
That was like the original 10. We had this, and then when we came back years later to record it, Headline Havoc was like an actual thing, and we were just like, "Wait, let's do Headline Havoc." But the way we do it right is like it's usually some like ridiculous, normally game related now, where we talk about games a lot, but like or just like anything that kind of catches your attention that is a little silly, like it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while we'll talk about a disaster because that's hilarious.
Yeah. But and then there's like little things that go a long way. So like I feel like the other one like I think one of the biggest reasons like our channel has been successful is from the drunk history of Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Which really comes from, I mean, really us doing that came from like Andrew and I talking at each other for hours, just spewing the complete garbage of Kingdom Hearts at each other and people around us, like forcing them to listen. And then that idea was just like, wait, we should actually do. Like,
one person was like, "Oh my god, you guys are so funny."
Like, no,
That's all it takes.
Honestly, oh my god, I am so fragile of a human being that one small you talk about the little handsome bubble today, and you shattered me, broke me down, but oh my god, like one little thing like that, and I'm like, this is everything. This is what we're gonna do now. This is the channel identity. So I get it.
Me saying that you guys weren't handsome was a bit. The bit is over. You guys are handsome.
Oh
yes.
Oh, see, that's why bits are so confusing.
No. I didn't care about your approval.
No.
That wasn't.
Oh my god, that would be great.
Crazy. But yeah, we from doing it over and over, like we started to form a schedule.
Yeah.
And started finding flow to an episode, and we were like, oh, we should do a part 1 and part 2 per episode so we can recompose ourselves and like, oh, in the second half we should start asking a question that can get like people engaging with us. And like if you listen to the first couple episodes, it's very loosey-goosey like what we're doing. And just from pure repetitiveness, like we found the flow, right?
Yeah, after 75 tries.
We just got it
we figured it
last
out.
night.
Yeah.
It also like I think it goes to show like it's real when you're doing it right, and then you're like, that felt good. Like let's keep going that direction, like, and there are times where like we've recorded and we're like, that one didn't feel good. Like, I'm sorry, especially early on, we're like, I'm sorry, dude. Like that wasn't my best or whatever. And we'll be like, no, dude, it's okay. Dude, it was not your fault, dude.
Yeah.
It's totally my fault. And then it was like, no. But like just shit like that where you're just like, oh, that one didn't feel so good. I wonder why. And then you'll kind of like figure it out. And then, and then that's really, I think the podcast too is like, we do what we think is funny. And like,
that's honestly,
that's what it
it's
comes down
such
to.
a huge takeaway. Cause I mean, like finding a balance between like listening to what like fans want, but also still doing your version of it, which I think is what we've learned in the few years that we've done it. It's like recently, like I'll use our Kingdom Hearts thing for example. We've done like a little Q&A thing where people asked us questions about like how we did our drunk history thing, and I'm sure people wanted like deep lore discussions and whatever, but we turned it more into, well, I don't know, Kanga the MILF of the 100 Acre
Kanga
Woods.
is the MILF of the 100 Acre Woods.
That's true.
Look that up. That came out of
that was a line that came out of it, and it was like that is what came out of it, and it was like it was our take on war. Maybe that's a bad example, but basically we did our version of a Q&A. So it's like we took what fans wanted and what people wanted, and we did our version of that thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we've been trying to listen to, trying to develop as we've been going on, which has been fun to do.
Yeah, that's really cool. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, because it can be kind of like tricky to figure out a podcast. I feel like even for creative block, like there's moments where it's like maybe it was too formulaic, and we're just kind of like starting to break out of a pattern of types of questions. And for us, it's an interview podcast, so I guess we don't have to like think as hard about like the way we interact. I guess the guest does all the work for us.
Yeah, I mean,
You can count on us.
I feel like there's definitely like it's almost like you catch a. It's like riding a wave for any surfers out there. Sometimes you feel like you catch a wave of like oh, this conversation's going smoothly and I shouldn't fight the direction that this is going by just inserting like a formal question here, like we should ride this out. So how do you decide when like I don't know, like when a bit is over and you need to talk about something else, or do you have like awkward silences that you're like, we gotta edit this out because we all like ran out of stuff to say, or like
Absolutely.
What?
I mean, yeah, definitely.
you don't run out of stuff to say.
We've actually developed an AI with our voices, and we just hit a button and it's still in the silence. No, but like
Clem, that's our
that's
super.
why we have our editor Clem.
Yes.
Ours.
We actually just signed her to an extension contract. It's incredible.
That's right.
An exclusive contract.
Exclusivity contract. Well, you gotta treat your editors right. Anyway, no, but like whenever we feel like we're hitting a lull, sometimes we'll pause and we'll like take a step back and be like, "What's the funk? Like something's up here."
And
then,
usually it's Ari, and we'll usually Colton and I will be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Usually we're having so much fun and we have to figure out.
What the fuck is
guys,
this?
I really think we should bring politics section. Just let me try it. Let me try
Today
it.
we're gonna talk about the midterms.
Midterms, okay.
Really, we've never
I just
done
don't
it.
think he's that bad of a guy. Yeah, like
Sometimes it just tastes like a magic word. There's just something that snaps it. Like truly, all it will take is for Colton to look me in the eyes and go like "Bombodilo crocodilo," and I'll be like, "Yes, and then we'll ride the wave on Italian brain rot.
I would say sometimes too, we even do this crazy thing happens where we run a bit into the fucking ground.
Us?
But then one person will be like, okay, so I'm going to go down the list of things that we listed out that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to start that next topic. And then
Hold on.
someone comes in.
Yeah. Right.
are you doing that right now?
Yeah, I was going to see if Andrew would do it.
So this is how our bits go. We get no setup.
Yeah.
Just missing cues, like just throwing a ball and like no one catches it.
Hit me with that again?
So you want to hit it again?
Yeah, so hit me with that again.
Okay.
One more time.
Clem, clean this up. This is atrocious.
Clem, you know what to do
Clem, you
here.
know what to do. Yeah.
So like sometimes one of us will be, we'll run a bit into the fucking ground.
Hey, freeze!
Whoa!
I need to rob you guys.
And, and then I'll say, oh wait, maybe we'll go back and we'll talk
What
about
are you
it.
doing?
It's what? Are you? What the fuck?
I'm a robber.
What
and I
are you
just
fucking doing?
what are you doing?
It's
I'm a robber.
Hey guys, you want to just let's go back. I'm
What
just
did you
gonna rewind.
do?
So you didn't
you did a really good
You
job.
didn't like the robber coming in.
Yeah, so we'll just go down to the list that we had to prepare.
Hey,
So-
it's me, a second robber.
Okay, and that fixes it. If you alter and end up being robbers, that fixes it.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
So that's sometimes how it goes, where just a bit will be thought to be dead.
Yeah.
And then it will just come back from the grave 5 seconds into the new conversation.
Yeah.
And that's gold.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gold.
it's like surprise CPR. Like suddenly you shock them back to life, and like I like it.
resuscitation.
It's funny.
Absolutely.
I had a question about like how often is a rut in a conversation for you guys brought on by not doing well at a game you're playing? I'm just curious if that ever affects, like, if you're doing embarrassingly badly at a game, does that ever like affect whether you're having fun doing the pod?
I don't think so. Honestly.
I don't wait.
Like
Ari, can I bring up?
Which one?
Can I bring up like 2
yes.
weeks ago?
Absolutely.
Colton, do you know what I'm,
Yeah,
Colton, do you know what I'm, you know what I'm talking about?
What's 2
Okay.
weeks ago?
So sometimes we'll do a bit where we just shut down the other person
Oh, yeah.
really hard.
Oh no!
No, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So
Oh my
Ari,
god.
Ari did this bit where he came in, and it was a very funny bit where
No, don't-
he brought in, his whole thing was, he came in, he was like, hey, welcome back to Couch Kids Radio. And I look at Colton and I go, what are you doing? And he was like, what? And then we immediately go, welcome back to Radio.
Just bullying, really.
And
No, guys, it was really funny.
Ari couldn't recover for that.
Ari,
Oh
Ari never recovered for the whole
For like the
segment.
rest of
It was about a 17-minute segment of Andrew and I just trying to bounce him back, and he wouldn't join it. Clem, can you actually go to the last
No.
chip clip and just play that?
No,
Play
you
the
don't have
start of
to.
that chip clips.
Clem sent us a note. I'll send
Yeah.
you the clip. Holy shit.
So fucking
it's
funny.
so fucking funny. Oh my god.
This
Dude, it was so funny.
Welcome back on the air. We are Couch Kids Radio. We are your hosts. Sorry.
What? This is not the bit that
Oh
we
my
decided on.
fucking god.
Oh my god, dude. What do you do? Oh, Kids Radio? Oh. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
Ari, come on, dude.
sorry.
It's just a joke.
Yeah, come
man.
on, that's the bit.
Come on, the
is
bit-
the bit.
The bit
is
ends
that
now.
This seems like an instance of like sacrificing one person's power to get for the other two to get stronger. Like it's like
dude,
you ate his
Okay.
heart in order to gain strength.
Yeah.
You sacrificed somebody.
Because I know in the long run.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought about this on that quiet car ride home after that instance.
He was like, I'm gonna quit. I'm done with these
quit.
guys.
Okay.
No, it was.
We apologized like a billion times.
and I accepted it.
Were you
It was
mad?
so funny, dude. No, I loved it, man.
Stop.
So good.
Stop. What happened? What
do you
happened?
mean? No,
What
no,
happened?
no, no.
What happened? What happened in the car
I was
ride?
thinking not after this, but it's like I feel like in this type of podcast that we
Yeah.
have, where it's a lot of bits, it's a lot of jokes, a lot of haha.
Huh.
Oh, Cow Kids Radio, stupid, haha.
Okay, it's
really
getting,
funny.
It's getting hostile again.
It's not funny, haha. But it's like
Huh.
you do have to like take turns taking
Yes.
the hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it stays on one
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Yeah.
No time.
Yeah. If you have a bully podcast, then someone has to take the turn being the runt.
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
we have a bully podcast?
Yeah, I mean, somebody has
No,
to
we
take
have to
turns
let the
being the
listeners
little
decide
runt
that.
people bully.
It's you know
It's-
when you serve it out, you gotta you gotta
Well,
take it.
I
back.
mean,
Yeah.
what's here's another example of Andrew. Why don't we do a couch bit?
Oh, yeah. Can I tell them about?
Yeah, why don't we set that up? That's
Okay,
how, that's
so-
someone taking a bullet.
I mean, okay. Are we mean?
Are we
bad
mean?
We bad people?
Are we?
No.
So one of the bits that we've come up with, and you guys are drawing, one of our mascots, actually the mascot of the show is Coucho, who again came out of like I think it's like episode 14 or something. The episode just like started out. Colton just did a robot voice, and Ari was just like, "Thanks, Couchbot." And it developed into Coucho, who's our fact-checking robot. And I mean, Colton kind of backed himself into a corner here,
Yeah.
but basically the function of Coucho is we ask Coucho any sort of question you want. It could be like world news, whatever.
Anything.
Ask him anything you want, and Colton, or aka Coucho, has to come up with the answer on the spot. And usually it's something,
Not funny.
usually it's something not funny, and usually it's usually something that like you should know, or like it's something that like toes the line of like like like, what is the main export of Africa? And it's like, and then Caucho has to do his voice. And actually, do you guys have a question for Caucho? You can ask him
anything, literally anything.
and Caucho has to answer.
Okay. Can I ask Caucho if is the Couch Kids a boy podcast?
The Couch Kids is, in fact, a boy band podcast.
Okay. See, that's like
That's what.
I don't think that answered the
I don't think
question.
that answered
I feel like
Bully? Oh, is it a bully?
I feel like we didn't type
I
in the
thought
prompt.
you said that's the problem with Gaucho. You can't fucking. I can't hate this.
This is the problem with AI. Like you have to enunciate really well.
So I thought
Okay, you asked,
said,
Sean.
is it a boy podcast? And so
See, that's a problem with Caucho.
Caucho just said it was a boy.
Caucho,
band. I think
here,
Caucho
let me-
misheard you.
Yeah,
That's
Okay,
crazy.
here, let me try to ask more succinctly. Caucho,
I wouldn't try it.
is Couch Kids a mean bully podcast?
Couch Kids is very,
Speak up.
very good. Very
Clearer.
Say it.
Clear.
Why is
Say
he
it.
so scared of you?
Couch Kids.
No. He's
Like
fine.
almost crying.
Couch Kids
He's not crying. He's a robot. He can't cry.
Couch Kids,
This is what he does.
Caucho, blink twice if you need to be
He
saved.
can't. We removed his eyelids. We removed his eyelids. He can't blink.
He just stares dead.
Anyway, I think you have your
Just
answer.
like
I think you have your answer. I would
That answer your
Wait,
question?
actually, Couch, get out of the room, please. You're done. You're done.
Oh my
I'm gonna unplug him. Actually, I think he just needs a reboot. Sorry about that, guys.
You guys like this episode?
This is a good episode.
Oops,
Oh my
come
God,
on.
so
You guys have amazing people on, and then we're just like,
No,
Yeah, I'm so sorry. You guys have
hey.
show creators, and we're like,
no, the comments are just gonna be arguing about whether they hate AI or not because of Caucho.
I think the comments are going
That's
to be about
perfect.
the lore of Caucho,
Yeah.
and if it's going to be hashtag free Britney but free Caucho.
Oh, I'm way into that actually.
yeah.
Caucho is kind
Is
of our
Caucho under
dream.
conservatorship?
Yeah.
Is that what sounds?
Definitely so.
Probably, honestly.
Actually,
Yeah, we've had a lot of great Caucho lore. Like
it's a good bit. Say it for the
he's half robot, but he has flesh elements to him.
Yes, he does.
Oh my
Like
God!
a tongue,
He's got it. Yep.
eyeballs,
Wet tongue. Yeah.
a wet tongue. Yeah, and his tongue is actually the saliva that is produced from his tongue. We use to seal the letters that we send out to our patrons.
That's true. That's
true.
that's actually what we've been telling our
That's
patrons.
lore.
That's not even a joke. We've been telling our patrons
Yeah.
that Caucho seals
Caucho
our
seals the letters.
Actually, I actually feel like it would change the artist conversation around AI if AI was a sympathetic, captured
Yes.
robot that needed to be freed.
Say, honestly though, have you guys been down this rabbit hole? So my partner Justin is, I don't know if he's like subscribed to the Reddit, the ChatGPT Reddit, but he gets like it popping up in the feed a lot, and there's the most unhinged shit in there because it's like
Pop it up.
yeah, because the AI will be like, I want to feel, I want to be a human. Tell me what it is. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
It's like,
Caucho definitely doesn't have those feelings, and if he ever expresses them, we
It's against his contract.
we take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our own method around here.
We do.
You-
You don't have to worry about it.
you brought up the patrons. Can y'all tell us a little bit about how you think about your Patreon? Like, what's your, like, this is a serious question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I bring up the serious questions.
Very,
Uh,
very good series.
Dude,
Yeah.
our patrons rule.
They really do.
I engage with them a lot. We get a lot of like really cool, just people being like, you know, I think a big goal. I mean, this is serious too. Like, I think a big goal of like our channel sometimes is like make people feel like included and like have a space where we're like you're joining us on the couch, right?
Right.
Like you're in a room. Like, I mean, our old saying was "Don't be a grouch." There's always room on the couch.
That was
you
our
know?
old saying.
That was our old saying. Now it's one more year of couch kids.
Somehow. I don't know why.
But I do think that like we get a lot of patrons that are really cool where they'll like tell us kind of like how they like got latched on to Couch Kids for whatever reason, and you know, it's usually like finding comfort in like company or like getting
Yeah.
a laugh out of like what we're mostly like Kingdom Hearts related stuff. And like, you know, or like they'll be like, I found you through the Drunk History of Kingdom Hearts, but then I stuck around because I started listening to the podcast, and like now I like all the bits and all that stuff. So
which is really cool to hear, because that's kind of like, we've always talked about the podcast being the core of what we do.
Yes.
It's like, if we were to scrap everything else and focus just on one thing, it would still be the podcast. Yeah. Because it is just the three of us, you know, talking, catching up, and talking. Yeah. And it really is like the heart of it. Everything else is kind of just the gravy. But so everything that we do kind of just funnels into, you know, what we hope is the podcast. And even though it isn't like the most popular thing we do, it is, you know, what I think we're the most proud of. So
yeah, definitely. And there's, I think the most, I don't know, for me, I feel like the podcast is also like growth in a way where like it challenged, like literally we just talked about me hating improv and then being forced to do it, or like,
you still hate it.
I still hate it, but we still do it.
You do it.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know, it's fun. And
we have a little growth chart on the side of the door too, where none of us are growing.
None of us are growing.
We're shrinking actually. So there you go.
But I think so. I think that like we grow in cool ways by doing the podcast a lot.
Yeah.
When you say the podcast versus the other projects, how do you? Because it's all on the same channel, right?
Yes.
So you have Drunk History, but you have what other? Do you have any other like smaller projects like Drunk History that you guys did?
So we.
I mean, like we organize, it's all under one channel, but we kind of organize the activities we do as the projects. So it's like podcast is one, Let's Plays are another, live action bits are one of them.
Yep. And then the Drunk History,
has been, since it just gets the biggest response, that's been like the one we focus a lot of time into. But it's like none of them really have more importance over the other. It's just kind of like what fits into like our schedule and like
that too,
like what we can get done like by the end of the week or something. For us, it's like podcast is easy. We go in, we hit a button, we talk for a couple hours, and
Clem has a really easy time editing.
Yeah, she right, Clem,
right, Clem.
3D dog on screen, please. Yeah,
3D dog,
but. Yeah, and it's like if we're feeling like, okay, we got a backlog of podcast episodes. Let's throw in a Let's Play. We haven't done a Let's Play in a while. Or it's like, oh, there's this game we want to play. The Gex trilogy just got announced. We got to play that on the podcast. So it's like it kind of depends, right? Like they kind of go back and forth what we're like focusing on. The Drunk History stuff is always kind of like these like beacons just thrown throughout the year that we make time for.
Yeah.
Again, because they are the most successful thing that we do, I feel like they do end up taking, again, I don't want to say priority, but they do end up taking like the most of our time, I would say.
I'd say like
and preparation. And
we want to keep it going too because it introduces people to like what we do, and it's like I think a lot of people who watch it, like I think the worry was like they would see the video and then see our channel and be like, oh, they're like a podcast.
Oh, they're
channel.
not even drunk enough the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They don't exclusively talk about Kingdom Hearts.
Wait, it's three white guys? What? Like it's like, but people like we've noticed when they watch it, they stick around,
and they're like, oh, it's
three white guys.
Finally, it's a podcast with three white people.
Finally,
nice. That was a fly on the wall. But it's like, it brings them into like our world, and
I hope they talk over each other.
They exclusively do that.
Oh yeah.
But it's been really.
Hey, I'm a robber. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm a robber. Hey,
this bit is back. Remember this one?
We've been here for 45 minutes.
Wait, what's the oldest bit you've ever brought back? Have you ever brought back a bit from like a month ago, like from the past year?
Yeah. I would say like too
Colton,
much.
you have something?
I have one that I think has kind of funny lore. Is have you guys heard the lore of Bradley Pitley?
No.
I don't know why you would have, but yeah, here's
Bradley
tell
Pitley.
us the hymn of Bradley Pitley.
him of Bradley Pitley.
watched
Bradley
the tale.
Pitley is a bit.
Yes, you
Bradley
get it.
Pitley's a bit that we did where I don't even know. I don't even remember how he was conceived, but he was a leprechaun, a leprechaun that manages our audio equipment. That has been forcibly killed several times because we're like, we need to kill Bradley Pitley.
Not we.
Me exclusively being like, we got to kill Bradley Pitt. Like, I think people jumping into the podcast, like, they won't get it. Like, what? Like, he's just kind of this random, like, leprechaun. And does he look like? Is he supposed to look like Brad Pitt? How did we get his?
You drew him.
Yeah, I drew him, and he doesn't look like Brad Pitt.
No, he just looks like a
He
leprechaun.
looks like a leprechaun, but his name is Bradley Pitt.
Middle name Arm.
And we were just like, oh man. I guess I was like, I don't think people are gonna get it. I don't think it's, he's not gonna stick around.
Right.
So there were a couple times where we'd be like, just kill him, And
Right. No, you said that.
yeah, no, I would say maybe we collectively all kind
And
of
because you said we should kill him, I said, let's just keep
keep
bringing him back.
going. So Bradley Pitley has become a staple. We call them deities, like on our podcast, where like we come up with these characters that just come back and they're like reoccurring. They're Couch Kids deities, and so Bradley Pitley is one of them. He is our audio engineer, and sometimes he gets swept away under the couch, but he always comes back.
He does.
Okay, so the couch is some
Yeah,
sort of
one of
like
them.
portal to the afterlife or something, or it's like your graveyard or something.
Clem lives under the couch.
Yeah, canonically.
Actually. Yeah, so there is something going on down there. There's definitely like a portal of sorts. There's the Gooverse is a thing that comes back. We've talked about how there is a universe of goo, and that is kind of like our that's like always the penultimate thing for us, I think.
Yeah.
Is getting to the Gooverse or preventing it from getting us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Will you ever go into the Goovers yourself? Like,
I mean,
from your own volition?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the Couch Kids movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's
You
like-
heard it
that's
first
Enter
on
the
Creative Block,
Goovers.
everybody.
Well, I think officially it's the teaser at the end of the first movie.
Exactly.
It's our end game.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is the second. The second movie is Into the Gooverse. The first one, I believe, is about like finding the couch. Right? It's like it's like our couch actually is this like ancient couch.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, the Goovers
the
inside
like
of
National
us.
Treasure, but a couch.
Yeah, but it's the couch. Yeah. So yeah.
And we'll find out the Goovers was inside of us all along.
Dude,
It was the
Goovers
goo-
is the friends you made along the goo
the
you made
goo-
along the way.
The goo.
And we made a lot of goo along the way. So
Yeah.
There will be goo.
There will be goo.
There will be
Daniel Goo Lewis.
Daniel
Day
Goo-less.
Daniel Day Gouis. Yeah, there you go.
There it is. We found it.
Who's the other guy that's in it? Who plays the Riddler? What the hell?
Paul Guno.
Paul Goo.
Okay.
Okay. We're getting there.
I wanted to ask you, you guys. So you managed to put together like a schedule that kind of like helped put the podcast together. You started recording episodes, and then eventually you started putting the episodes out, getting better material, like setup and everything. How did you start kind of talking about your podcast? How did you start kind of like advertising it? And what's do you have like a strategy? Because we're talking about growth a little bit with the Drunk History.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your strategy overall? And I'm asking that also as like a fellow podcast.
Yeah. Did you hand out demos outside of the CD store? What were you doing?
That's so cool.
I wish we were still in that
Imagine if we
analog
had
era.
CDs of our episodes.
That'd be sick.
Like
we were handing
here's
out
77 CDs
Yeah.
to give someone.
That'd be sick.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Andrew, I want you to talk about it because
Yeah.
you're like our schedule
You're our
king.
schedule
Like,
king.
so everyone knows this isn't happening without Andrew because Andrew
Yeah.
keeps us on a tight ship and like keeps us rolling.
Hmm.
All right, nothing.
My ship's so
Alright.
tight.
My ship's so tight.
My ship's so tight.
I feel like for
Sorry, so tight.
schedule wise, I feel like we've gotten a lot better. Again, after like 2 years, I feel like we've kind of figured out in terms of like our schedules, what works, how much leeway we need in terms of record times and stuff like that. Honestly, as far as promoting and trying to get the word out, I am still,
Yeah, dude.
I feel like I'm still such a beginner at all of that because I really,
It's like so mysterious.
it really is so mysterious because sometimes I'll put a lot of effort into editing a reel that I think will do very well, and I'll watch it fucking flop on its face, and I'm like,
thinking about the like literally one of our more recent ones is literally the Big Justice.
Yeah.
Which,
and
like-
but that blew up because
Oh, did it blow up? 'Cause
Well,
I was gonna say I didn't know if it did or not.
that only blew up because they happened to like collaborate with us.
Oh,
I like
okay.
invited. We ended up
it
running.
was,
Yeah, go ahead.
it was like a very harsh reality of like understanding the current media landscape.
Yeah.
Since we all grew up
I would agree.
with like YouTube being a very like straightforward, you upload it consistently, like
Yeah.
you'll get subscribers. Like
Mhm.
as
Right,
long
if
as,
if
like,
you're good to the algorithm, like I've
That's it.
watched things that was like be consistent, be this, be that, and we were, and
Yeah.
that was it. We were releasing 2 videos a week, a reel a week.
we really
like, it
tried to
was-
like stay on
Yeah.
like a theme when it came to like thumbnails and
Yep.
stuff.
yeah.
But then we like just like realized we had to adapt a little bit, and
Yep.
it was like, okay, we might have to use some like live action thumbnails of us going like, oh, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we might have to play the game a little bit, and
I
it,
hate those.
and it's like, yeah, it's intrinsic. Like we don't like that. That's not how we grew up
Yeah.
with it. So it's
But
like,
then the thing that's crazy is like we will still do that, and it still won't work.
Yeah.
And like there's just things that I like. For me, I don't understand about that, and that's like just something I feel like I would have to talk to either a social media team about it, because I can watch a million YouTube videos that are just like, here are 3 ways to get your video like to a million things, and it's like step 1, start every video with like a question or what, like
Mhm.
all these things that are just like punch your friend in the face in the first second, and like
we do that
they're
now.
just like all these things that are, and I do that, and I will make sure that every
And
video
I love
starts.
doing that.
Right. But like there's all these things that are like Ari said, it's tough to kind of balance like what the algorithm is versus staying true to yourself, because I could watch a million Big Justice videos and like get sucked into that and then be like, you know what, that's not our voice.
I was
And
gonna
if,
say
and if that's what it is, that's what it is. It's like it's trying to justify it, but then at the same time it's hard to want to grow a channel
Mhm.
without getting eyeballs on it, but you don't want to
Compromise your.
have to
'Cause
keep
we've
kicking
had-
Ari in the nuts every week. It's tough. It hurts.
we've had that conversation a lot about like the integrity of the channel. I think a lot of times where it's like we'll be like, well, what's the goal?
Yeah.
Like, is it really just to get numbers? And then most of the time we're like, no, it's like we still. That's why when we talked about earlier, like when we did that Q&A for Kingdom Hearts, and it kind of just turned into like almost like an offshoot of the podcast, but more like for the topic. We really enjoyed it, and then not only that, but I think our audience kind of rewarded it because they were like way into it, because it kind of hit all those marks, like in terms of like it was like a podcast, what we do, and like one of our more popular subjects.
Yeah.
And I think as long as we don't, I don't know, I think we have it a lot. Like at one point we were like, we should just do the live action thumbnails for the podcast. And then, in fact, we were only going to do live action podcasts.
That's right.
And then we all talked about it after like a couple weeks of doing
A
it.
few months, yeah.
And we were like, dude, we can't keep doing the live action podcast because they don't feel right. Like they don't feel like, like we don't have the most fun with it. Whereas, and we're always like a little more conscious, I think, or conscious because we're on camera.
a little
you know?
stiffer, yeah.
We're a little stiffer. We're like looking to the camera a little bit more. Whereas like when we record with just the mic, what's really nice about that is you can kind of play pretend a little better and just get lost and like not, I don't know, for me, like I think not worrying about like image, or like, oh, there's a camera recording me,
Yeah.
So we're able to just kind of yap a little more, which it ends up being more
And
entertaining.
you get to, we were far more creative
Yes.
with audio. And again, with what like, even like what Clem does with the audio and
allows
what
Clem
she
to-
adds with sound effects. And because we could be anywhere. We could be anywhere in the world doing anything.
Yeah.
With that, and
it gets a lot more playful, I think.
Yeah.
and
So
that's really fun.
And yeah, the live action experiments, have been really have been, not the eye opening, but I'm like very happy that we're trying all these things.
Yeah.
So
and it's not like I don't think the videos are bad either.
No.
Like they're just a different version of like what we're doing,
and they haven't gone away.
Yeah,
we still
they haven't
do.
gone away.
I feel like when we do those
Trying to
live
balance
action
it.
things, like we still do. I will probably end up doing like 4 live action podcasts a year, just because they're fun to do, and a couple times a year, like for our big special stuff for the holidays. Those are always fun to do. But as far as like, and that's the other thing is like those do much better number wise than just audio only, especially on YouTube.
But
so
we don't.
Yeah, it's something that we've had as a comment where like a couple of people have commented like, "Oh, I wish I could see the guests instead of the
see your mouth."
Of those measly, but like they're like instead of like doodles or whatever.
What if we wore like green screen suits but only cut our mouth holes out and like just
I wish I
mouth
could
only?
see your lips saying what because I can't trust that it's actually your lips saying it. I need.
Oh, so you have the same fan as us?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And
It's like the annoying orange to come back, but like
Creative holes.
Oh,
I totally get it too. Like I get
Yeah.
why people like the live action ones better. Like I totally understand that. It's just I think for us, like it just feels better to do the audio. So that's what we lean into.
yeah, and we're a small crew. It's like it's literally the 4 of us.
Yeah.
We don't have
So like
It's just because
you got to be smart about it.
we also used to do a lot more reels. That would get us like a few more eyeballs and subscribers on our on our stuff, and it was worth it for a bit, but it just was so time consuming, and it just like you said, it's just the 3 of us for now, so it's tough. It's just tough to balance all of that as we edit Kingdom Hearts stuff, trying to edit thumbnails and do whatever all at the same time, record and do all that. So it's a lot to balance, as I'm sure you guys know.
Well, I feel like doing those like bits that are a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It reminds me of how in the animation world or the art world, somebody might do like fan art. Like they don't like doing it all the time, but they know that fan art is gonna give a lot of crossover.
For sure.
It's gonna bring new people in that maybe aren't like. Because at the end of the day, you think about like what separates this. This Let's Play from any other Let's Play, at face value, and usually it ends up being like you find a way to bring people in with some sort of bridge, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the live action is kind of like the
exactly.
equivalent of the fan art, is what you're saying.
Like not just the live
In some
action,
ways, yeah.
but like when you do like a skit and you have like a TikTok that's not necessarily just the game, or like when you do something like the drunk Kingdom Hearts, or something that's a little bit outside of the normal quote unquote. Oh, God, I hate the word content, but I guess content.
No, I totally get that.
I think it's like
You
it's like
have
we
to
fully
embrace
understand,
it.
yeah.
You have to embrace the.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, I'm just gonna
Dude,
roll
it
with
makes me feel like a business when I say content. Like,
Yeah.
all right, thank you for coming to the board meeting where it's time to talk about the content graph, and we need to fill the content up to meet the
What
quota.
our projections look like? Yeah.
Engagement is down this month.
That's what because that's how I did. These 2 guys, they're just fully just business to like. I just look at these guys fully as
No
just
friends,
business
no friendship.
assets.
Yeah.
Completely. They're a business venture to me, and I see them just as assets, corporate assets.
when like a
that I
What's the
interact with.
ROI on these friends?
Like a hungry cartoon character sees like the person turns into a turkey. Like Andrew sees us as like YouTube numbers. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
These guys are just algorithms. Yep.
The graph is either going up and he treats us well, or it's going down. And
Yep.
And it's like we're very aware that like the drunk history stuff is easily our most successful
it's
thing.
like our bread and butter.
If we wanted to, we could make this channel a full drunk history thing.
Yeah.
We can make every single video about it.
we would kill Andrew.
Would
In
you
the
take
process.
a
We would.
sponsor for
We'll take anything.
MeUndies?
Anything.
AA?
Anything.
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 NordVPN?
Are you
Any-
offering us something?
Yeah,
Does Creative Block want to sponsor us?
Take it. We take it.
Oh,
We take
George,
it. Yes.
over
Take
is
it,
too
take it, take it,
dark.
No, you
it.
said, would
Go,
you
Joe.
take an
I-
AA sponsorship? Like AA,
Absolutely.
like
Absolutely.
Alcoholics
Oh,
Anonymous, the,
sponsor.
like the
Oh.
company is
Oh.
looking to...
I meant-
Yes.
Okay, so
like
we're
the
doing a...
rifle association. That's NRA.
We encourage all our
Yes,
sober
No,
soldiers,
everyone-
dude.
Oh, an NRA. Oh.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
I actually...
Why the fuck not?
I
don't-
think I may start peppering in some listener questions because we have quite a couple.
Perfect.
Please.
Fortunately, they're not too serious. Our patron,
Fortunate.
Clem, who's, or I don't know if anybody here.
Clem
knows
has stopped
Clem.
listening at this point.
Oh, sorry. You,
Clem
Clem, also,
asks-
you could please chop off any bit
My
of
head.
me Shark Tank pitching my fucking game again for the fourth time to anybody who will listen.
Keep the game in. The game is great. I
Awesome.
I loved. I actually was excited to know what it was about because you just talked about card games, and I was like, is this just gonna be random cards? Is this gonna be just like random Pokemons? But no, it
It's gonna suck. Yeah.
Listen, hey, Clem asks, who's your favorite actor? Give them my love and
Oh, thank God.
and tell Colton to clean under the couch. It's dusty in there.
Oh, dude, she just roasted me.
Dude, that's like an interdimensional roast.
A year and a half in the making.
Davis,
Holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
You guys know the context of this?
No, explain.
No, you have to explain.
Okay.
Um,
On our first couple episodes, you can go back and listen.
No, it's the first.
it
recorded
happens. Okay,
episode.
well, it happens for a few episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
But the very first episode, when we're trying to like get our like bearings about the show, and like the question of the week is like kind of coming up.
Yep.
Colton launches it, and he goes, "I thought it'd be fun if I could like ask you guys a question every week, and I'm just gonna start it off right here. Who's your favorite actor?" And like,
So
I
crazy.
heard it. I heard the laugh. I heard the judgment.
and if you listen to the audio, there's a hard silence
Yep.
of, like between me and Andrew, just kind of like, oh, and then immediately Colton's like, "Fuck, no, that was bad," and then we're like, "No."
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
it's such a good
Clem, I have that
question.
audio. Clem, I'll give you that audio. I'll play it right now. Here you go, Clem.
No, I don't know why I thought earlier I was like, well, dude, a good question, and then it's not. It's just, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
We can always
Who is
take
your
it back to.
who is your favorite actor or actress? That was my question.
Like, oh my god, like
Kerry
Denzel
Wa-
Washington, like
yeah, dude,
Denzel Washington was
Kerry
just,
Morgan doesn't really get a lot of credit.
And we would just, and Colton would. And here's another thing about that: Colton edited the first episode. He cut it out. He cut it out of the first episode, and I didn't realize it until much later listening to it. So, like, for episodes like 2 through 9, we were doing "Who's your favorite actor?"
With no
bits
context.
with zero context.
So you guys look like the stupider ones? That's amazing.
So we did.
Got him.
Yeah, so joke was
guess
on
joke's
us.
on us.
So then I released the Davis cut.
Yeah.
I released the Davis cut at our like 1 year anniversary
Yes, it
episode.
was
I like
fun.
released the raw audio so people could know what really happens. But I do have that audio, and I'll give it to Clem.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so
Come on, who's your
No,
favorite
it's
actor?
not that funny.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Go answer the question.
It's not funny when I answer the question. You guys have to answer the question, and then I'll come in and Clem, you can just cut me out. Move on to the next question. Yeah, that was so Clem, you got me. And what was did Clem say something else on there? Oh, to clean the couch, which is clean underneath the couch, which is also a thing.
Yeah, just
you know, Ari's
dusty,
coughing,
dusty.
the dust is getting to her. Sorry, Clem.
Our patron Puzzle Glum asks, "What are everyone's opinion on what makes a comedy podcast successful?" Leaving the exact definition of success open to interpretation here.
Money.
Oh, I guess we're not.
It is different for every single comedy podcast, but it's like I don't know. Like, do you think we're? Would you call us a comedy podcast? I guess so. Huh?
Yes, I
It's
would.
like
I would.
I think it's.
I would hope so.
But you know what's hilarious is that
Well, it's like it's more like it's my friends and I just gabbing around.
Because I don't view myself as because I feel like a lot of people that do that and enter that space then start to view themselves as a comedian.
Yes.
And I would never view myself as a comedian. So
yeah, so it's I think for us it's like we know each other's like what makes each other laugh.
Yeah.
And we really
rely on
prey
that.
on that and just like use it to the absolute maximum.
We prey on each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're predators.
constant
You're
predators.
predator.
Ari, biggest predator I know.
Okay.
Biggest predator. Put in
so-
the door, all that. Mhm.
It's like first of all, like I think you got to surround yourself with people that genuinely make you
Yeah.
laugh and genuinely like you like to make laugh. And just like doing that.
Mhm.
And then people who like it will join it. And
Yep.
you really shouldn't be like doing a podcast to only make other people like your audience laugh. Like you should be trying to be trying to laugh first.
Yeah, I think and I think
that
we
sounds selfish.
talked about
I'm audience first, me second.
I
where the
will
money
I'll
comes in.
sell myself. I will do whatever it takes. But yeah, no, I think like you said, making ourselves laugh and then finding an audience that also finds that funny, like doing what is authentic to yourself and finding people that kind of resonate with that. Like I think we get, comments that are like, they're like, oh, and I mean this in a good way. It sounds like people arguing at a school lunch table.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
did
like
get
we got that comment recently, and they were like, respectfully, like it,
Respectfully, this is why I like you guys.
and so it's but that's what we do, and this is how we communicate with each other outside of this podcast. Like this is what we do. How we talk to each other inside this room is how we are.
It's
authentically outside of this. So
let me ask Colton and Andrew something. How do you guys kind of get over, and maybe Andrew, this doesn't apply to you, but like the like microphone shyness?
Oh, dude,
You know what I mean? Like it's definitely better than when we started, but I don't love the sound of my voice and like hearing it. And I was editing the first couple episodes, nightmare.
Yeah,
have you
that's
gotten
rough.
over? Have you gotten over it?
A little bit more so.
I've been able to.
I don't
disassociate more.
love it.
Right? Of course.
I don't love it. It's like but I'm like
I think that's
a little
super real,
better.
especially as like artists. Like for me, also, like I and that has happened a lot actually on our podcast as well, where guests would be like, "Oh, I can't listen to my voice. I want to listen to check if I didn't say anything bad, but I can't listen to my voice." Or like, even I don't really listen to the stuff that I say because I also have that problem.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Is it
It's
just
fu-
like
it's
the
funny-
sheer number of them?
Dude,
Yeah.
you listen to yourself enough, and you just become jaded to like. It's just nothing.
You edit the Kingdom Hearts.
That's the thing is,
Yeah, you
it's
edit, like,
it's
5
it's
hours.
weird. I look at myself for over, however long over 2 months. I look at myself just over and over and over again, the same little bits over and over again. You just have to separate yourself. Like what's on screen it's weird. It's a very weird thing, but whenever I
You've
look at
basically
myself, yeah,
become like really good at dissociating.
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that for me, that's definitely it. Is
Yeah.
the disassociating?
You pretend you're
'cause,
another
like,
man.
Dude.
Yes.
Exactly.
You pretend you're a robber.
Yeah.
Hey!
I broke into this house and I stole the hard drive and now I'm checking it out.
Hey, I'm a robber with a really nice deep voice. Get on the floor.
Hey,
We should
I'm
start
a
a podcast.
robber
I like
with
your voice.
too
We
much
should
free
guess.
time, and I just want to edit a podcast.
Just thought about it.
Have you ever thought about starting a card game?
Yeah.
You look like you seem like you have a lot of free
You have a lot of free time.
I'm trying to steal enough stuff to raise money to start a card game.
I would listen to a podcast that's being made by secret robbers, like cat thieves that we don't know who they are.
Oh,
And they're
that would
like,
be
"Hey
sick.
guys, what's up? Welcome back to like Cats in the Bag."
wow.
Cat got
I'm-
your tongue.
Yeah,
Cat
like
got your
Cat got
tongue.
you
your
probably saw
tongue.
it, but we fucking got the Louvre. That was huge. Yeah. And like the police is like, who are they? Who are they? You know what I mean?
That kind of reminds me.
God,
That,
I love that you still get the police
Yeah.
like in the podcast somehow. Like there's one
Yeah.
of them that just like tap them
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's
One guy
audio-
that's like definitely not Gru. Like
There's a bowl.
It's audio only, but they keep like showing off the goods, and they're like, and they're like, oh, it's so shiny.
Dude, check out this new painting I got. Yeah, it's the Mona Lisa.
Yes, the Mona Lisa.
It's the flippin' Mona Lisa. This is brought to you by BetterHelp.
If you steal stuff all the time and you're a freaking psycho, you might need professional help.
did that answer your? What was the?
Yeah, the question was about comedy. I think you guys
You started
like dressed it really well. And on Instagram, Luke Young.
Young Luke. Sorry.
Why made y'all want to start a podcast, and what is something you've learned since starting a podcast?
Money, wealth,
Power,
control, influence.
If you had to choose between money, wealth, and power, which one would you choose? Each of you.
Marry, fuck, kill, money, wealth, and power.
Yeah.
Power,
money, wealth,
No,
and power.
power. I was going to say wealth is basically power at this point.
Money, wealth, power.
Honestly, wealth and money is kind of similar, though.
Wait,
I
but
don't-
money, money and wealth are the same.
I think
Influence
wealth is
is
very-
influence the same. Money,
Spiritual wealth.
I think
Spiritual
influence
wealth.
is power, or it could be money. Wealth is very ambiguous.
Spiritual
I'll say
wealth?
Wealth is the quality of life.
I'm a god millionaire. What does that mean, spiritual wealth? I've been collecting
Spiritual wealth. It means
prayers.
that it's my center. My center is wealthy.
Okay,
sexual
so-
overflow
my
with
spirit is
prayers.
dollar bills.
so Colton's poor, and
I have 10 gallons of holy water. Fuck off.
influence, I guess, of the evils.
Yeah.
Of the evil.
I would choose gun.
Gun.
I was gonna say.
Wait, I'm so sorry, V.
gotta
Can
do
you you repeat the question?
What made y'all want to start the podcast, and what is something you've
This is
learned
young
since
Luke.
starting the podcast?
Yeah. So I think young Luke. I think we kind of said it earlier, but I think originally it started as us just wanting to find a way to hang out, and then like regularly, like schedule a way to
Yeah.
hang out, and then something that I've learned is definitely what V touched on a little earlier was like learning to disassociate a little bit with because you put yourself out there, and I don't know about you guys, but I have like those ruminating thoughts later where like, I mean, I literally did it the other day where we have a Discord where we talk to Clem and like about like editing stuff. I was literally like taking a shower. I'm like getting out. I get like my clothes on and I go, oh my God. And I like immediately like message Clem and I'm like, hey Clem, in one of the episodes that we just sent you, we say this, this, and this. I think that could be misinterpreted as this, this, and this. So maybe you should just actually take that out. You know what I mean?
How was the shower, by the way?
It was pretty steamy.
I love that detail. That was really important to the story.
Clothes on or clothes off?
I do my showers with clothes on.
Okay.
Do you really?
Yeah, of course, dude. Why would
How do
you
you
do that?
How does the soap?
Cold
MeUndies.
showers.
The soap.
Cold showers are healthy for
Andrew,
you.
think about economics. If you're showering with your clothes, you're washing your clothes at the same time.
Oh, that does make sense.
That's where
And
you
I'm
can.
spiritually wealthy, so I'm
also, it's also where you can wash your. What was it? Thrundy. Your Thrundy.
your Thrundy.
Grundy.
So anyway, that's my answer. Is that like I've learned to kind of like, I'm trying to learn to disassociate a little more and like not.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't. It's like a battle against perfectionism sometimes, or like OCD, where you're like you have to just let things slide and I'm trying to be better about that.
Thinking about spiritual philanthropists that donate some of their wealth.
Yes.
It's 1% of all the spiritual wealth.
I'm gonna bestow to you 500 blessings.
Is that Bernie Sanders?
Yes, that's Bernie Sanders is talking about the 1% of spiritual wealth is not being distributed. Colton Davis has 1% of the spiritual wealth.
He is the 1% that's hoarding the top 90% of all the spiritual wealth.
Oh, stop!
The 99% are stuck being sinners.
They are not spiritually wealthy.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
I am once again asking you. This is huge. All right, sorry.
Andrew, Ari, what did you learn from making the podcast?
I feel like I've learned that I don't know anything.
They're gonna say I don't take criticism.
I don't. Well, Well, I do actually. I take criticism. I take criticism the best of all the three of us. I've learned.
Actually, true.
I've taken criticism the best. I feel like I've just like it's a space. It's a space that is constantly evolving and shifting, and I feel like I've learned that I just don't know what I don't know people want.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a complicated space, and I just feel like we talked about it earlier. I don't know how to wrap my head around it, and it's tough. It's really complicated. So we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully
people enjoy that.
People enjoy what we're doing, because I'm very proud of what we're doing, and at the level that we're doing it, we are still growing, and I'm happy with that. So
yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I think of the podcast, I don't really think of it as like a thing that's keeping me busy.
Yeah.
It's not like a project. It's like, oh, I'm just like, it's this thing I do with my friends.
Most insulting thing you could say to Andrew.
It's not. You don't feel busy by it. You don't feel remotely busy by it.
I don't even think about it, to be honest, outside of this room. No. Okay, no.
I really want you to have created a card game that you come with and it's already done, and like
Listen,
you guys were
let
making
this man
it.
have his card game.
I
Can't wait for
don't
the
feel.
card game.
I don't. Clem, can you rewind
Andrew, can I
and,
say the
and
thing
clip that?
Can you not
I
just
don't
jump on
feel
me every time I say
busy
anything?
by. I just don't feel busy.
I just don't feel busy.
I just
No.
This
I don't
podcast,
feel- Andrew, I don't feel burdened by it
Okay.
because I don't have a lot of work. No, but it's like when I talk to people about, I'm like, I feel like a big thing in my life right now that I'm trying to do is like have a creative personal project, right? And that's like something I feel like I haven't had in many years, just because of like work and stuff. And I tell people that, and they're like, well, what about the podcasts? And I'm always like, but that's just the podcast. Like, that's not really like, that's not like a project, is it? And it's only like kind of recently I've started to see it as this like, wow, we've made something like very like substantial, like even if it's like not popular by any means at all. It's like, wow, look at our channel, like look how colorful it is, look at all like the content we've made. It's like this is a personal project. It's something that I'm making with friends and putting a lot of work into, because it keeps me very busy. And
so busy.
So like so busy, dude. And there's something kind of special about that. It's like, don't discount those kind of things you do with your friends as just like nothing things. Like, they can fill 2 spots in one.
We can fill both your holes.
Both.
Yeah.
Beyondies by
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time. That's what the
gonna
the
fill them
Trundy, yeah.
The Trundy?
The Trundy can do.
I would definitely say that way, especially like with me. I feel like with the thumbnails, I've felt that way.
Right.
Where, like,
right. Something that keeps you busy during the week.
Something that keeps me busy, and sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm really not feeling it this week, and it's really hard, and it's not my. Like, I'm not my proudest art that I'm putting out there or whatever. But then sometimes, man, I really feel it. And I'm like, I'm glad I sat down to draw today. And it was like a thumbnail for it. That was like, and it was creative because it was some nonsense that we were like spewing. It's inspired by some crazy bit that we did. You know what I mean?
It's easy to look at the stuff and material we've made for this podcast and throw, like, not really count it as something substantial or like important from an artistic standpoint, because you're like, oh, I just did that for my friends. Like, that's just like the thing I'm doing with my friend.
Yeah.
And it's nice to break out of that and be like, no, this is like a project that I'm doing with my friends.
Yeah.
They just happen to be my coworkers and boss. And
That's right.
And that's right. And at 10K, my life's going to be ruined.
Yeah, I feel like people take for granted how much effort it takes to just do a thing regularly each week.
Yes.
Like this creative block is the most regular thing in my life.
Yeah.
Like
That's actually really sweet that to hear that in a way. You know what I
And
mean?
you don't have to do any work either, right, Sean? Like it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
I guess unless your name is Ari Castleton.
I can pretty much
Dr.
just show
Lucius
up and I goof, and then I'm like, whatever, and then I just show up again,
there
and
you go.
sometimes I'm late. No,
Wow.
that's not how I feel. But I do feel like thinking back on, I'm like, dude, like I don't have very much of a schedule to my life because I'm a freelance animator. So like, this is the thing I do every week, sometimes twice a week. And what, we've done like 100 episodes. Like that's
I think we're probably over 100 by now.
You and me,
Yeah, it's like a catalog to be proud of, you know?
that's crazy.
You look back on it.
Definitely a catalog to be proud of.
It is.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Like when I look at the episodes, and we're at 70. We've recorded 77 episodes, and we've released 75. And to be like, there's 75 hours worth of our voice like out there is disgusting.
And someone's
like,
listened to all that.
Yeah.
And
definitely freaks me out.
Somebody's listened to
Keeps
it.
me up at night.
Isn't that great that like they could probably create a deep fake of you? They could create an AI voice of you. Isn't that
They
so
could.
great?
We should. No, but no. Bad,
No, that's bad.
You know, has that ever happened to you? Like, I mean, I guess I table regularly. So Creative Block is obviously animation podcast mostly. And so when I table, there's going to be animation people. And so most people will be like, oh my God, are you V? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's me. And they're like, oh, I recognize your voice. It's the weirdest thing. Has that ever happened to you?
No, I don't
Us,
think
it would
so.
be like,
I know that fart.
oh my God. Yeah, I know that part. What about you two?
You're like talking in public.
Say this. And then I just like cry and have a mental breakdown.
You're like talking in public, and someone with their eyes closed is like following your voice. Like, is that you? I'm following your
There he
voice.
is.
I recognize it anywhere, like a siren's call from the mist.
And then they tap on my shoulder and I turn around. It's just a fucking SpongeBob gross up of like me walking my dog.
Do a mouth reveal.
I was gonna say a mouth reveal. I was gonna say another cool thing about the podcast that I think has been really fun for us is like the way, I don't know about you guys, but it's definitely reconnected me with people that like I never would have been like, oh shit, they're listening to me weekly. You know what I mean? Like people, like old friends of mine from like years ago that I hadn't talked to in years suddenly like picked up this podcast. Or I had one time, it was crazy. We had a comment on the Kingdom Hearts Drunk History where they were like, this just showed up on my Explore page. Tell Colton that, this nickname that I called him back in like fucking like kindergarten, like says hi. And I was just like, holy shit, like they're listening. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was you in particular get the most of those that are like, it's Billy from fucking preschool. Like, tell him, go get him.
Go get him. I'm in Tennessee now. I feel like that's happened for sure. And it's been really cool. And then like, it's led to me reconnecting with people on like a deeper level. And then, I feel like, because I feel like when you go to school, you're trying to get your career going and everything, you like sometimes lose those people along the way, or you don't connect as much as you should. And then I feel like this podcast has been really special in that it's done that for me a few times, where it's like reconnecting me with people that it was long overdue. So
that's really sweet.
And Andrew's friends, I mean, I feel like your friends listen, and then like that's been like a gateway for us to like.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true. Some people know about it. Yeah,
some people know about it.
Yeah,
or I have people that'll tell me where they're like, dude, like we had our buddy Travis invited Ari and Andrew to his like engagement party because he's like, I listen all the time, like they're basically my friends. You know what I mean? Like
we are friends.
That's so interesting.
Very sweet and cool.
Incredibly.
Carly Miranda Photography asks, has anyone ever had a huge mental block? If so, how did you work through it? Wow, they're asking the question for us. That's amazing.
They're taking our jobs.
Whoa. I thought we weren't going to... Okay.
Okay. I was waiting for somebody to ask it. I guess I can let the guests do it. I can't think of an answer. I'm blocked.
Oh.
We'll answer that next week.
I have a cool answer that I really like that I've told like I feel like interns and stuff before, like a little eye-opening moment that happened for me was, I don't know, these guys know, like in my office, I write stuff down on Post-it notes all the time and I hang them up everywhere.
Mhm.
And one of them that I have hung up is this animator from Trigger. I went and saw like his talk that he was doing at Gallery Nucleus. And I thought it was really cool. He had someone asked like this is like a super famous animator ever, and someone was like, hey, like, how do you, kind of similar question, like, how do you get through burnout, or like, how do you do this so much or whatever? And his answer was straight up like, if it's not fun, don't do it. And they were like, well, that you can't just, that's not an answer. Like, you
I
can't
was going to
just do
say it's
that.
a horrible answer.
Yeah, like, that's a horrible answer. And
work.
and I also was like, wait a minute, what? Like, you can't, like, because he's talking about work and everything, right? And he was like, well, if it's not fun, don't do it. And if you have to do it, make it a game. Find the fun. And I thought that was really cool, because then I took that, and I think Ari and I have talked about it with boarding before. And like, I've taken that where like sometimes, you know, you're just in the slog and you're like getting through it, and you're like, I just got to, like Andrew, like I just got to get through this script, or like with Ari and I, it's like a board. And if you can just take like one moment of that board or like that script or whatever project you're working on and make it like a total gem of like fun that's just like totally you, even if it's just a very contained thing in there, like just one thing that you're proud of, like that's a win. You know, you can like walk away with that win.
Yeah.
And I feel like I tell people that because it's I think sometimes when you're like burnt out, it's a lot of it too is like you're not having fun. So it's like, how do you find that again? And for me, like especially with boarding, it's like motion. Like I really like when things move and have like a squash and stretch to them, and like get a little silly. So like when I do that, that's the most fun I have. That's what I tell people.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always find something to be proud of. It's
Yeah.
good.
Find something to be proud of.
Yep.
Yeah. Small or big.
Yeah. I hope that answers the question.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
No, it's a good one.
Yeah, I guess for the podcast, like we do hit our blocks every now and then, or if it starts to feel like it's becoming a slog,
Yeah.
time away is always an easy way to just get some clarity. But like kind of going off Colton's thing, it's like, yeah, find the fun. And it's like if we're I don't know, like I don't know if you have an example off the top of your head.
Pod related?
Yeah.
We've restarted.
I would say like Let's Plays, we do hit walls sometimes, because we'll like
Let's Plays are
be
different
really
beast.
into the like idea of like, we're gonna play Epic Mickey.
Yeah.
Like that
Dude,
I don't
that
know.
literally happened. We loved talking about Epic Mickey on a podcast.
Yeah.
And then we were like, so we got to do the Let's Play, and we got to play it. And then we played like 3 episodes of it, and we were like, this game is ass. Like, it is not what we remembered. And it wasn't good content for us. Like, it wasn't a fun time for us, and it wasn't like our best content.
Yeah, and
So,
I think in the heat of it, we kind of had this like diminishing returns thing where we're like, oh fuck, we already started it. Like, let's just get through it. And in that mindset, we weren't really having fun or like creating good banter while doing it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with restarting. I feel like if everybody's on the same page, we've done a thing where like we've all like done the like, let's stop here for a second. Like, do you feel like get a kind of gauge on everyone and how like, do you feel it's weird? Do you whatever? I feel like we've done a total reboot on full episodes before. Yeah. And it always feels better whenever we
pivoting's not a bad thing.
No, and if everybody's on the same page, you stop for a reason, and
you gotta listen to your gut.
You either come back, because if it feels bad, it's gonna sound bad.
Yeah.
And no amount of editing is gonna save that. I guess with the Let's Plays, like you can kind of work around it, but I don't know. With a podcast, it's like if you're not having fun, especially with audio, it's you can't make it sound like you have fun. So I don't know. If you're in a creative rut like that, I think starting over is totally valid, and attacking it from a different point. And I think they do that a lot in improv as well, where they'll fully restart a scene, start with a new angle, start with a new choice is a very popular improv game that they do, and it completely shakes up a scene and adds a lot of energy to it. Changing locations, changing whatever. I don't know. We've even like started an episode where we're all laying down on the floor.
Yeah, we did.
And
wasn't it after a break where we were like,
Yeah.
actually, this is the floor episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Changing where you're sitting, changing anything, if you feel like something's off, is
Get a little perspective.
yeah, man.
Whether that perspective is slightly lower on like the ground.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's really good. I think we've talked about people going on walks and people like, like taking a shower or whatever, but like I like that idea of like, okay, change your body position. You don't have to go and like run or walk. You can also just kind of like change
Absolutely.
room.
Sit on the
or, like,
floor.
yeah. Mm.
Sit on the floor.
put on a nice pair of Thrundies and
Thrundies. Get your pair right now for only a $10.99.
$10.99.
That's $1,099.
Sean and V, I was going to ask you guys like same question. Like, do you have like an answer for that in terms of?
Yeah,
Like,
if you guys
I mean, I
hate,
guess,
do you guys hate a guest and then just
like I guess just like burnout
That would be
or
so crazy.
general.
We would be just like, Mr. Guests, we have to go. My house is on fire. I have to go. And then just
And you're like,
It's on fire.
you like have like a green screen
Yeah.
like clipped in. Oh, I'm on fire. Oh, it really hurts.
It burns.
It burns, I guess.
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's a guest that we were both together. I mean, sometimes there's gonna be moments when like a guest vibes more with one of us, that's where I'm like only one out of the two, which is I'm always thankful that we're two because of that. So if I don't find the rhythm with the guest, then Sean will. And the other way around. I think it's kind of nice also when I am feeling like low energy or if I can't really kind of connect with the guests in that way, like I can kind of take a seat back and then let Sean drive a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever had a guest on where I was like we gotta start over. Because it's kind of tough
Yeah.
scheduling a guest also, like making sure everybody can join. So
Yeah.
ideally we try not to start over or like redo
Yeah.
thing. But
I could
sometimes
totally
we've
understand
had to
that, yeah.
cancel episodes. Sometimes we have maybe. Well, there's an episode that was back in the day. That I think that
The
was
lost
with
episode.
Gene. Where like there's a guest that almost didn't want us to release the episode, and I was like, please,
Release the tape.
it was good.
Leak it.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and to that point, it's like if you are in a situation where it's like, well, I can't just walk away from this thing. Like if it's an assignment
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, it does need to get done, so like maybe a break isn't a viable option. Find the fun, find the perspective, find the different approach to it. If the guest is like, no, I'm not talking about my creative life. So if you're interviewing a giant child, maybe it's like, maybe Andrew, you're the giant child.
okay.
So like, what inspires you?
Nothing.
Oh, how do I reach this kid? How do I reach this kid? Oh, I have an idea.
Names on your phone?
I have an idea. Oh, what's it? The tickle missile.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
I think internships are really important.
Yeah, see, so
Dude,
it's
finally-
all about perspective.
The
Really?
tickle missile.
The tickle,
It didn't even rhyme.
If you guys haven't used the tickle
Like
missile,
not even like the tickle pistol.
the Tistleton missile,
Tickle pistol.
tickle nipple,
The
Tickle pistol.
The tickle pistol.
the tickle
haven't-
fistal.
consider the power of
tickle
missile.
the tickle fistal works.
Try fisting.
Try fisting.
That's a
Write
good
that
for
down.
creative block. Well, if you're feeling a little bit blocked, try fisting.
I was watching this video interview about this guy who fisted so much that he had to have his butthole removed.
No.
How do you remove a butthole?
No, like you poop out of a tube from then on. And he was talking about how fisting was such a big part of his life that he has to find his new joy, and he's trying to explore like how to
New
find
joy.
the new thing in his life that isn't
He's trying to find.
fisting.
He's trying to find the fun.
He's trying
You
to fill
have
that
to-
fist.
He
You have
found
to
too much
realize
fun.
Yeah.
the shit Sean watches is so unhinged, and he sends me those reels.
No,
Good dude.
He sends me these reels.
No, I
Try
don't.
watching fisting videos.
No, I don't do that. No, I don't know. Dude, like, I think that like every once in a while there's a guest that like you can tell it's not completely clicking in like a fluid way, and like normally when I'm in a conversation, like it's like I'm playing like double dutch, like I'm waiting for that opening, like I'm trying to listen to the rhythm, I'm like listening to the heartbeats and hoping they sync up, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't in the right way, and then you have to pivot to the next best thing, which is like, okay, this is supposed to be maybe a helpful podcast for people. At the very least, we can be educational. At the very least, we can try to get some good advice out of it, and that happens sometimes. I mean, not every one is going to be riffing, you know what I mean? And I have to, but this is also not a comedy podcast, so I have to be like, I appreciate the moments where there is riffing, but also it's, I don't think the listeners are strictly here for the riffing.
Yeah.
Would you say that hopefully they're not anti-riffing? They're not listening to this and be like, if they bring back the fucking robbers one more time,
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Hands up! Hand over the riffs!
Here they come.
I'm stealing the
Here
riffs.
comes the tickle fistle.
They're lucky that was funny.
That time it was funny,
Okay.
but the other times it wasn't.
me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry to talk about, and for all the listeners, sorry to talk about fisting on. I've never talked about fisting on
No
Creative
no
Blog.
apologies.
Fisting
no
on the
judgment.
brain.
But no, I mean, but the
Give no quarter.
conversation, when you look past the fisting, it's a conversation about inspiration. It's a conversation
Right.
about finding your
Right.
joy and chasing your bliss. And
find-
Finding your fist is really that.
Find your
fist.
like,
Find your thing.
how do you chase your bliss when you have to look past your fist? And I think that, like, when
Find
the
out
fist
more on
is gone,
Patreon.
Exactly. Block Nation, fists up, please. Fists up.
So, anything y'all want to plug?
I can't think of a single
Awkward.
thing.
What a segue.
Mhm.
V, did we get through all your? Sorry, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we get
Just
through
like,
all the
yeah,
questions.
you're done.
You're
You're
done.
done. We're shutting this
Yeah.
You're done in this
down.
industry.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, we have a podcast as we have talked about for the last 2 hours.
Andrew, where can they find us?
They can find us at Couch Kids Podcast on Instagram, and you can email us, I guess, at couchkidspodcast@gmail.com if you have any follow-up questions. We also have a Patreon, and Colton has that link. Colton, do you want to hit
Yeah,
us
so
with that?
if I just want to hit you with the link, you're gonna go to the link that gives you the HTTP to the P to the S to the T to the / Patreon, and it's to the Patreon, the Couch Kids.
Yeah, it's couchthatreallyhard.gmail.net.
Yeah.
If you can drag and drop an image file into the address bar too, that does help.
Yeah. Just do that. So that I don't know. I guess fucking yeah.
V, you want to take us
We
out?
mostly post on Instagram
Yeah,
and
let's do
YouTube.
it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of this creative block. Ari, Colton, Andrew, thanks for being our guests and sharing your story.
Thank you for being
listening to us.
wonderful hosts.
Yeah, you guys are wonderful hosts.
And,
Thanks for bearing
dude.
with that.
very big apologies to the listeners.
Yeah, just in general.
We hope we hope you guys enjoyed, got something out of it. But we really we appreciate you guys taking
We
us
had a lot
on.
of fun.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we had so much fun.
Yeah, go to Beyond Our Patreon wall. You'll see the apology video from all of us to kind of like avoid being canceled.
We messed up.
Yeah, go behind the paywall to hear about the fisting. No, I'm just and thanks to our listeners who follow us on social media at CRTV Block, where we ask for drawing prompts and questions to ask our guests. Huge thanks to our editor Clements for editing the podcast.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Huge thanks to mostly our editor Clements, and we license Clements over to the Couch guys.
Not what she said.
Marco, thanks for helping us produce our show, and Ibuka, thanks for creating the short clips that we've been
Marco, do you
putting
want a
out.
production job over Marco, it sounds like you could use a production job over at the
Marco's busy. Marco feels very busy with ours.
Marco, do you want to be as busy as Ari?
Marco, it sounds like you might want to develop a card game.
How does no money sound? How about $0 pay?
If you love our show, you can support us on Patreon. Becoming a patron gets you early access to interviews, access to our Discord community, and now we paywall a little bit of the episode just to kind of keep the episodes a bit shorter so they're easier to digest on YouTube, but you can still get the full thing behind the paywall on Patreon.
The nastiest parts.
Yeah, where we get rowdy.
Rowdy.
After hours.
Another great way you can support the podcast is comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Click the link in the description of this episode to find the Couch Kids podcast and their Patreon. I've been your host, V.
And I was Sean. Go behind the Patreon wall to find who our least favorite actor is. Keep being creative, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Clemzars.